Welcome to A Perfect Pair.
Hello.
Hi, Simo.
Hi, Sallie.
You're getting ready for another wonderful day. Can you explain what these spices are and what we're going to do with them?
Well, those spices, we're gonna make a spice mix today. We have paprika here, Spanish paprika, chili powder, cumin, some brown sugar, and wild oregano. And then we're gonna make a spice mix, the Moroccan spice mix that we can use for pretty much anything. You can use it for vegetables, you can use it to season the meat. We're gonna use it for the nuts, and we're gonna use it for the olives as well.
Okay, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to do some nuts using the spice, and we've got walnuts, cashews, peanuts, and almonds. And
That's
then
right.
you're going to do is it a cooked marinade for the olives?
Yeah, we're gonna pit the olives, and then we're gonna cook them with the spice mix and some herbs.
And finally, we're going to make meatballs.
Meatballs, tomato meatballs, very tasty dish that goes really well with the Cabernet Sauvignon.
And you've chosen this Cabernet Sauvignon for all the food we're making today.
Absolutely, I think Cabernet Sauvignon is very, very versatile as a red wine. You know, a lot of people like it because of the body, because of the spice. It goes pretty much with everything. And then the meatballs that we're going to do today with tomato sauce are perfect for Cabernet Sauvignon. They just match perfectly. The olives as well. All the spice mix that we're making today will marry really well with Cabernet Sauvignon. Got some brown sugar, 3, 4. Spanish paprika, 1, 2, 3. Chili powder, we don't want it too spicy. 1. Cumin. I like cumin myself. Not everybody is crazy about cumin. So I'm just gonna do about 1.5 here, cumin.
And if you were making it for yourself, would you put more, or is that what you'd use?
1.5, I think it's good.
Okay.
Usually paprika, you put more paprika than cumin because cumin is stronger.
Right.
So if you want to balance it out, always 2 to 1.
If you put too much, it's going to overwhelm.
The cumin can overwhelm the dish.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is wild oregano. So
Is
I'm
this
gonna
the oregano you brought back from Morocco?
From Morocco, Moroccan wild oregano, very fragrant. So we're going to put it in pestle, about 1.
It has a wonderful smell.
And it's strong, so I'm just putting 1 teaspoon, and then we're going to put this in the pestle here, and then we can just mix it up. And that's our spice mix.
Great.
There you go, thank you.
Simo, you said before that there's no salt in your spice mix.
I don't like putting salt in my spice mix, so I can salt depending on the dish.
That way each dish gets what it needs. Yeah.
Exactly, so you got it right.
And I think that's important because often I find people oversalt.
Yes. Or under salt.
So this is all mixed up. You can really see the red from the paprika, but this is a gorgeous color.
Depending on how much nuts, spices, if you have more nuts, you put more spices. We have 3 teaspoons here. And we're gonna do about a cup. I like to have more cashews and peanuts than almonds and walnuts. So if we do 1 cup each, 1 cup of cashews, 1 cup of peanuts, and half a cup of almonds, and it will be nice and balanced.
Okay, good.
A little bit of sesame oil. Perfect. Thank you.
And this is toasted sesame seed oil, which you can find in the Asian section or specialty oil stores.
Yeah. You think we should put more spices?
Bit more.
That's what I thought too. Okay. So 4, 5.
I'm getting a bit of a kick, and I can taste a bit of a sugar.
We're gonna add more brown sugar in the pan to caramelize them.
Oh.
And then salt to balance them out.
Okay. And do you want the oil quite hot too?
Medium, because I don't want to burn the nuts.
Right.
Very important. Nuts, they burn very fast. So you gotta make sure that it's on low medium.
They'll tell you when they're ready.
Exactly.
I can smell them a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll
Just brown them a little
we'll
bit.
take a quick break and come back when the nuts are ready for the next stage.
Oh yeah, they look good.
Welcome back to The Perfect Pair. So Simo, the nuts have come out of a frying pan. They're now ready for a final touch.
Final seasoning.
Final seasoning.
Need more sugar. For me, anyway. You need that sweetness, eh? It's important. More salt.
That is lovely. You're right, you don't taste the sesame seed oil.
Not all.
Bit of sweet. Hint of spice. It's not too spicy. And the tartness of the wine adds
Cheers.
to the first tapas of the day.
Yeah, this is an easy tapa that anybody can do with a little bit of nuts. And it's very nutritive. You know, while having a glass of wine, you can snack on this. It's perfect. Today we're going to do a hot olive salad. We pitted the olives already. We have some tomatoes here that are seeded, peeled, and cubed, really fine. And then we have a hot pan. We're just gonna throw some oil, cook a little bit of tomato, throw the olives, spices, herbs, and then cook them. And then we're gonna use a little bit of red wine for them. We have one tomato, peeled, seeded, and
You chopped it very fine.
very fine. We're gonna put the olives. And then while it's cooking, we're gonna cut a little bit of garlic, parsley and cilantro for the olives and get them ready so we can add them. Let this cook a little bit and then we're gonna add garlic next. I don't know that people in Canada are familiar with cooking olives.
I don't think so. So now you're sauteing it long enough for the garlic to cook, a couple minutes?
Yeah. Garlic, tomato, no seasoning yet till that garlic is, release its oil and the tomato kind of melt down a little bit to a sauce.
There
That's
wasn't
what you
much
wanna be.
liquid because you took all the seeds out.
Yes, we don't want much because we're gonna finish it with lemon juice at the end. Because you need a little bit of acidity, of course. A little bit of cilantro and a little bit of parsley. And just chop it fine. Now we're gonna add the spice mix here. We're gonna do 1 spoon of the spice mix because there is some brown sugar in it. And then we're gonna add individual spices to balance it out. You don't want this dish to be too sweet. The brown sugar is just gonna balance everything out once you add the salt, cumin. Half a teaspoon. Chili powder. This is a spicy chili powder. So we're gonna do about a quarter teaspoon, just like a dash. We don't want it too spicy. We have paprika. I'm gonna do a full teaspoon of paprika. go. Oh yeah. Olives, they love lemon. They love the lemon flavor. It complements them very well. Beautiful. They turn out really good.
Mm-hmm. You get all the flavor of the spices and the spice mix.
It makes the wine taste better. That's what I find. The wine just tastes so much better with this.
Those two are very nice to cut. Honestly, this is a perfect pair.
Sometimes, you know, you don't know if you paired it perfectly, but I think this is a perfect pair here.
I really like they balance each other out, and this is a bit salty, and this sort of takes the saltiness away and gives you a really nice mouthfeel.
Yeah, it's garlicky, you get some spices, you get some acid, lemon juice, a little bit of red wine, herbs.
So I bet this disappears pretty quickly.
It doesn't last.
No.
Usually when we do it, you know.
This olive salad, absolutely perfect. I would definitely make it 100 times again.
Oh, very good.
We're going to take a short break, and then we are on to the meatballs.
That's right. Tomato Moroccan meatballs. We have the hamburger here for the meatballs. We have about 2 pounds of beef.
2 pounds. We've got, well, a pound and a half of beef and a pound or maybe half a pound of elk.
Ground elk.
Ground
Okay.
elk. Both of them are from the market. I only buy meat that basically it's local, comes from Fort Francis, grass-fed.
Great.
Elk is very lean, so if people can't have fat in their diets, that's something. And we'll see what kind of flavor it adds to the meatballs.
Great. So we're just going to put some spices in, and then we're going to roll the meatballs, put them in the pan here. And then while the tomatoes and the garlic are sauteing a little bit, once they're ready, we're going to add the meatballs to the tomato and let them cook and spice it up. So we got our spices here. We got some cumin, we got Spanish paprika, we got some chili powder and oregano. And then, of course, salt and pepper. Okay, so we got about a pound and a half, 2 pounds of
About 2
ground
pounds,
meat
yes.
here. Altogether, 2 pounds. Okay, so Spanish paprika. 1. 2. 1 of cumin in the meat. Half a chili powder. And oregano. There we go. And then some salt. Some pepper. I know some people, when they do meatballs, they do a little bit of egg or breadcrumbs to bind them. We don't use any of that in Morocco. You make meatballs, you add your spices, maybe a little bit of olive oil,
But
just to
meat.
bind it, and that's it. No eggs, no breadcrumbs. So now it's all mixed, and then we're gonna start. So, you know, small size. Usually, I just put them in my hand and
1 meatball.
Yeah, I use my hands like this, like a scoop, to kind of roll them in the other hand. And you got a really nice meatball like that. Don't press too hard. Just
I was going to say, you don't have to really press them.
No, not much pressing, just rolling. You can choose to put onion in this dish, but it's not mandatory. I didn't even use onions today.
I was going to say, really, there's very few spices in it, really, just the spice mix spices.
Yeah, spice mix spices, garlic, very important, and then herbs.
Yeah, but you
at
didn't
the
put the
end to
garlic
finish.
in here. You put it just in tomatoes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome back to The Perfect Pair. We are
Hello.
doing meatballs in a tomato garlic sauce, and we've rolled meatballs for a while, but they're ready to go.
That's right, yeah, they're ready to go. So we're gonna put them in the pan, just slowly, to not undo the meatballs. It's very important. You gotta stay ball shape.
And you're going to cook them 5-10 minutes in
Yeah,
the
we
pan?
gotta sear them first, about 5-10 minutes. And then we're gonna add a little bit more liquid, seasoning, and then let them cook for
Okay.
about maybe 15-20 minutes, and then they're ready. There you
All
go,
right.
Sally, thank you.
Good. So, Simo, while you were rolling meatballs, I decided to try some goat's cheese in your spice mix.
Great.
So taking a
That's a
little,
good idea.
little bit of, pop it in a spice mix, roll it round till it's covered, and voila.
Nice, beautiful.
And you had one. What did you think of them?
They look great.
Yeah.
And they taste awesome.
They taste really good. I had tried it before, and mine were way too hot, and the spice mix is perfect.
Yeah, it's that balance of sugar, salty, sweet, with the spices and the cheese.
So
goes
really,
really well together.
this makes a very quick little appetizer. It's a bit different.
Absolutely.
You can serve them by themselves, or they can be popped on baguettes.
Yeah, some crostinis or tortilla chips or naan bread or flatbreads. Sear them so they hold their, so they're nice and seared on the outside and still soft on the inside, so they will cook a little bit and they won't be overcooked once the dish is done. And that's the goal, because you still want that texture in
Right.
your meatball. Yeah, you don't want them to overcook too hard, dry.
You don't want them dry, yes.
You want them soft, you want them juicy. And we're going to try to achieve that today. And hamburger, which is ground meat, it could be beef, it could be anything, has a texture. And you got to make sure that you keep that texture in check, so you don't lose your...
You don't want it to be mush. You want it.
Yes, you don't want it hard, you want it juicy, you want it seared and cooked. And then we're going to use some red wine for this.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So when you put the red wine in, do you just put it in, or do you spice it at that point?
We're going to spice the dish, season it, salt it, put the herbs and everything, and we're going to finish it with red wine, just a dash.
Welcome back to The Perfect Pair. The meatballs have been cooking for about 10 minutes now.
Yes, just searing.
And
so
you're
they're all
going to
seared and
add
everything.
spices, starting with paprika.
Paprika, so we're going to do about 1 teaspoon of paprika.
They're starting to smell lovely too.
Yeah, you can, I like paprika, so I'm going to put 2. There we go. We're going to do some cumin.
And you said before, usually it's 2 paprika to 1.
2 to 1. You know, if you want it a little bit, you know, you got a nice kick, just a little bit of chili powder, quarter. just for a little zing.
And you're right, all the food has had a little zing, but nothing's been too spicy.
Exactly. That's what you want. You want just like
A hint.
a hint. So the perfect balance between those three spices, you put 2 to 1 cumin, half chili powder.
Again, a little kick, but not,
Yeah,
not
so
a big...
if you put 2 teaspoons of Spanish paprika, you put 1 teaspoon of cumin and half of chili powder, and it will be the perfect balance.
Good. It looks like a thick gravy.
Exactly. So you want to... And we didn't even put onions in this thing here.
And you were saying that sometimes you can, but
You can, but, you know, I like onions. Not everybody are crazy about onions. I prefer cooking this without onions. It's just so pure. So this is cooking nicely here. I'm just gonna let
Very
it cook for
nice.
another 10 minutes, and then it's gonna be ready. We're gonna, you know, season it, finish it with some parsley, cilantro on the plate, and then put sticks and do some baguettes, and then we're ready to enjoy. After we finish it with a dash of red wine, just a little bit. There we go. Oh, you can smell that wine.
they're smelling really good.
Okay. You're gonna give them 5 minutes.
And
just
I
to
know,
make sure that-
I know the trick with cooking with wine is don't ever use a wine you wouldn't drink.
That's right. Well, it will affect the taste. Like this Cabernet Sauvignon is perfect. Perfect for this dish because it's bold red, you got a lot of flavor, you got some spice, you got some color, so it will definitely benefit the meatballs. It's a perfect pair, actually. And that's why we're doing this dish today, to pair with the Cabernet Sauvignon. So this is ready. So we're ready.
We're ready.
Cheers, Sally.
Cheers, Simo. And cheers to everyone watching it. This is great. I've learned when you're cooking that I cannot eat lunch beforehand because because it'd be
But I'm pretty sure now you're going to enjoy it. It looks good. The sauce is...
very nice. Hint of tomato comes through. The spices aren't overwhelming, just adds a little bit to it.
texture.
The texture is really good.
It's very important when you do a meatball dish. It hasn't... A lot of people, they overcook the meatballs.
This would be a great hit.
Definitely. It's tasty.
Tasty, that would be gone in 2 minutes.
It's not overwhelming. You can have it a little bit with bread. You can dip your bread in sauce. You can just have it like this by itself, depending how you want it. But it's a very good dish. One of my favorites. My daughter's favorite.
Take a break and then come back and just show you how to make a kind of ricotta cheese after we finished eating the meatballs. Welcome back to The Perfect Pair. It's been a very busy afternoon, Simo.
Busy indeed.
And while we were cooking, we were talking about yogurt. I end up getting goat yogurt every week through my partner, Doug. And Simo, you were telling me how you can make a kind of ricotta cheese with Greek yogurt, and we decided to try it with the goat yogurt.
Great, yeah. We have fresh
Fresh-
goat yogurt here.
fresh goat yogurt.
Fresh. We got, a mesh bag, doubled
It's like a cheesecloth.
cheesecloth, but doubled. So make sure that the holes are not too big, so the yogurt won't go all the way through. So the goal here is to keep the solids away from the liquids in the goat yogurt to end up with a really nice soft ricotta-like cheese that we can work with, we can spread, we can season, we can do so much things with.
So you can see it's quite thick yogurt. I did the same thing. I used cheesecloth, about 40 layers. I used cans of food to weight it down so the liquid would come out. And this is what I ended up with after 3 or 4 days.
There we go. Look at the texture. This is like a really nice cheese. You can taste the freshness in it. You can season it the way you want it, so it's never been seasoned before. There's no salt in it. There's nothing. You can never have, nothing is fresher than this.
Well, you can see the liquid coming out, yeah.
Liquid coming out, and then you're gonna end up with solids inside the mesh bag, and that's your cheese after a couple of days after all the liquid is out. And that liquid, which they call the whey, you can use to ferment anything from your fridge. You can ferment your vegetables in there, you can make pickles, and that's like something that can be really handy. Never throw it away, because...
Never throw the whey away.
Away, that's right.
You were
That's
saying
very handy.
how you can prepare this with different spices to serve on crostini.
Absolutely, and that's what we're gonna do. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt.
I like how it's so creamy.
Very creamy.
Very good.
Just like that.
Creamy, zing of a lemon really brings the freshness out. Excellent.
I like that.
Well, that wasn't on the menu. That just happened because we had lots of goat yogurt, but
That's really good. You can taste the freshness in the goat cheese. You can do this with goat cheese from the supermarket as well. It won't taste as fresh, but you will definitely get the result desired.
so we made nuts with we made the red spice mix. Then we made the nuts with the red spice mix. We made the meatballs, and we made the hot olive salad.
Olive salad, yeah.
Which is your favorite, do you think?
Well, I like the olives, the olive salad. I think is just with the red wine is just perfect.
I was going to say I really like the olive salad because also it was a bit different. The meatballs with the red wine also went very well.
Yeah, definitely. I like the meatballs too. The nuts, they have a little bit of sugar in them, so they're kind of really balanced. Spicy, but not too much. It's a really good tapa for the wine.
So until next time, please join us again, The Perfect Pair.